Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. This one is going to be about the AFC North and predicting how this division's going to go. I mean, this is a pretty tough division as it is right now. So anything that we predict in this division will upset somebody because this one's a very hard-fought division. You know this.
And I'm Will James.
Hi, Will James.
Yes, this is a tough division, which stretches me out every year because I'm like, well, we're good.
But you can also suck this year.
It could not matter if we're good because we could still lose 6 games and miss the playoffs.
Yup.
So AFC's very good right now, and this is, I think, arguably the toughest division in football.
Yes.
Right now. So, because even the worst teams are like playoff teams.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm just saying, oh, yeah. It can.
sounded like the Kool-Aid, but oh yeah.
Let's see here.
So, yeah, I guess we want to go straight in.
Let's go straight into it. We got the Baltimore Ravens. So, obviously, this is the season opener. Ravens and Chiefs.
I like my chances.
The Chiefs tend to be pretty sloppy at the beginning of the year. They're one of those teams we saw last year, and then the year before that. So, because every year we're like, oh my gosh, the Chiefs are terrible. No, they're just recovering from their Super Bowl hangover. So I think the Ravens will win this one.
Yeah, I like my chances. Even this,
they're angry from last year.
Didn't they get this? Didn't they get the home opener or the season opener last year at home as well too?
Yes.
God damn it, NFL. Yeah, I think Ravens win this one though, because, I mean.
Yeah. Raiders at Ravens. Ravens, easy. There's no need to debate that one. Ravens going to the Cowboys though. No. If I know anything about the Cowboys, they tend to not win against winning teams. This might be one of those ones where they lose. Especially since, the Cowboys tend to win a lot at home.
They do, but you'll also look at this game. Cowboys have not done well against the run. They weren't good against the run last year, and they didn't improve that at all. They lost one of their defensive ends for the year.
Yeah, they didn't fix anything.
And you're going up against the Ravens, who were a good run team, have Derrick Henry now,
yes,
and are building in also the receiver room. So it's like, I like my chances here too. I
think a 3-0 start is pretty solid right now.
Pretty reasonable. And then
we had the Ravens winning against the Bills in
the last video.
Week 5, Bengals are winning this one. This is probably going to be the one you lose.
Yeah, and I'd be fine with that.
You don't win every single divisional game. Like, that's hard to do. I don't think any team has done that except the Patriots. And then maybe the Chiefs a couple years.
Close. Who did we... Oh, we lost to the Browns last year.
You lost to the Browns.
And the Steelers.
But
not the Bengals. God.
See? So the Bengals will win in week 5 because it's at home at the Bengals. Yeah. And Burrow is back. So...
Commanders
are losing.
Lamar's gonna prove he's the better dual threat.
Yep. Week 7. This one, for some weird reason, I don't know why, but the Buccaneers for some reason I feel like they're gonna win this one. The Buccaneers. I have no idea why. This is one of those teams where it's like the Ravens should beat them because on paper they're better. But for some reason, the Buccaneers are just like, Mike Evans, good win. Baker Mayfield is like pretty good this game for some reason. This might be one of those.
I think the Buccaneers could be good this year. Counter argument. How many times did the Ravens lose to NFC teams?
That's true.
Lamar specifically.
Yes, but this might be one of the games that he loses.
I mean,
this is a Buccaneers team that's kind of improved.
It is, and I'm not trying to fault them, but I also expect this Ravens team to be better than last year. And last year we were pretty good. Maybe not win. The win total might not be the same because the schedule is different, but I think this team is better, and I think I like my chances. I think this is a game that you see, the passing game flourish a little bit more. But it's just like,
oh, there's an NFC team that you might lose to later.
Yeah, I see one. If there's going to be one, I don't think it's going to be the Buccaneers here. I
didn't realize
maybe one later.
But
I think this is a win.
Week 8, Browns, you're probably going to lose this one. Probably. I mean, it's usually
I hate losing to the Browns.
Usually when you go to an opponent in this division, you tend to lose if you're the away team.
Yeah, I mean, a good season for the Ravens is coming out like 4-2 in division play.
Yes.
The issue is usually we can win one of these road division games.
Yes. One at a time.
Would it be the Browns or the Steelers though?
To be determined. I can see something happening later. Broncos at Ravens. No chance the Broncos have a shot.
It's going to be a little rough, and that's not going to be a fun game for the Broncos.
Bengals are going to lose this one.
Don't take
it. Because playing at home is pretty good for the Ravens. So this is the one I think can be like vice versa. I think the Ravens will win a road game here against the Steelers, but the Steelers beat the Ravens at the Ravens in Week 16. I think that might happen. They might do a whole flip-flop and be like, we're going to win an away game.
The question is, how are the Steelers looking by that week? Because if they need wins for their...
They're going to be sloppy and be like, oh, we won this game somehow. So that might actually happen. So I think the Ravens will be the Steelers that first week, and then the Steelers are going to win that next week.
Yeah. Against the Chargers...
This is a game that I'm interested in watching.
I think it'll be a fun game to watch, but I think the
Ravens have
are going to win this.
Ravens have the ultimate edge.
They have a more well-rounded team.
Yeah, well, obviously. I'm just saying that the Chargers will put up a good fight because of this matchup. I'm just saying this might be a lot closer than you like it to be, probably.
I mean, it was close last year, and we were against Brandon Staley, so...
My point still being, it's the Harbaugh brothers going at it again.
Yeah, I hope this is a good one, because I hope this is a...
And here's the NFC team that you might lose to.
Yeah.
Eagles, they got a lot better. Hopefully they will fix their coaching issues because they fired their defensive coordinator and brought in a new guy. And then they have Saquon Barkley on that running offense. So I don't know what you guys are going to do when it comes to the Eagles.
Throw the ball and hope that they still suck on that end.
That's a maybe. Point still being, I think the Eagles might beat you guys this week because they're really good. Last year was supposed to be the year that they're supposed to win the Super Bowl, but you know how that story ended.
Yeah. I could contend for it as a toss-up, but if it's a loss, I'm not heartbroken over it.
I mean, you guys are gonna. I think the Ravens will win the division, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficult.
So
Eagles will win this one. Bye week, and then Ravens against the Giants.
Off of a bye week, take my chances.
Yeah. And then here's the Steelers beating you guys at home.
Fine.
This is a good matchup. Texans and Ravens. Oh my goodness.
Christmas.
It is the Christmas game. Knowing the Texans and how well they performed this last year, you keep reiterating the sophomore slump. There are QBs who don't usually have a sophomore slump. Most do. Some don't.
Well, it also doesn't necessarily just apply to... There's a lot of people it could apply to. It could apply to Tank Dell. It could apply to D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, it could happen to anybody. I'm just thinking overall right now because the Texans were a pretty young team last year. I do believe the Texans might squeak out a win here, but this could be a very well of a toss-up.
I could take a toss-up. I like
This one's like, I can see the Ravens winning, but I can also see the Texans winning because it's at home for the Texans, but the Ravens are a better team than the Texans.
This is a game where I look at this, and this is a game I feel I would be comfortable betting on the Ravens. We beat them in the playoffs pretty comfortably, and then you also look to and again, it's 1 year, but we went and beat the hottest team last year on Christmas.
Yes.
I don't remember if that was on the road or at home.
That was on the road. You beat the Niners on the road.
Yeah. So I would feel like, I don't know. I feel like that week, if as long as we're healthy, I would like my chances there. So I could leave it as a toss-up.
We'll leave it as a toss-up right now. You guys will beat the Browns.
Yeah, hopefully shattering dreams.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll have to go through the others. Who's next?
Tally this. Well, let me hold on.
I think
tally up 1, 2, 3.
It's 12 and a half wins right now for the Ravens.
12 and a half.
Yeah.
Which, again, like I said, the win total might not be as high, but I expect us to be a better team.
Yes.
And
this is a very competitive division, so things are bound to change. Bungles. We have Patriots losing to the Bengals. Bengals and Chiefs, though. Because you guys open with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs might beat the Bengals this time.
God, they get 2 home games against 2 AFC. God, freaking. Yeah, I see this as a loss.
I don't make the rules here.
I felt given we're gonna give you 2 AFC North teams at the beginning of the season. That's bullshit. You get them both at home. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I see that as probably a loss for the Bengals, but
next 3 are a Bengals win. Because Commanders, Panthers, and we already had the Ravens losing to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals are beating the Giants.
Most likely. Bengals struggle against the Browns.
They do. I think the Browns will win this one. Against the Eagles, though, that's a good game to probably watch. Do you think the Eagles will have an advantage here?
For what reason?
Because I'm trying to think here. Eagles definitely have a better running game now. Because the Bengals, they kind of
lost Joe Mixon.
Lost Joe Mixon. They kind of regressed in that area. I don't know how solid that Bengals defense is against the run.
I mean,
this might be an instance where.
How good are you expecting the Eagles to be?
Eagles will win that division, I believe. I don't know how good they'll be.
If we're expecting them to be good, and if you're confident in them beating the Ravens down the stretch on the road, I think that this also, with that logic, would put the Eagles a notch over the Bengals.
So you think the Eagles will win this one?
With the logic provided prior, yes.
Prior, yeah, okay. So we'll have the Eagles win. Raiders will lose.
Raiders lose, yes.
Ravens will win.
So that's a loss for the Bengals again.
Bengals will win against the Chargers.
Coming off of 10-day, you get 10 days to rest.
10 days to rest. And then there's the bye week.
Chargers.
And then there is
Steelers at home.
Bengals at home.
Bengals at home versus the Steelers.
Versus Steelers, yes.
Bengals at home.
Bengals are coming off of a bye. Steelers are coming off of what they call a mini bye, where they had a little bit longer time, but not a full bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Bengals should have the edge here. I do believe that the Bengals will lose to the Steelers at 1 point.
Yeah.
I think it's towards the end of the season, though. So I think the Bengals will beat the Steelers in Week 13. Bengals versus Cowboys. Bengals. It's weird because Cowboys are usually really good at home, but they're never good at beating over 500 teams.
Yeah. Especially, last year was also teams with good O-lines they struggled against, which the Bengals you kind of expect to have a decent one. I think Cowboys usually take a step back this year. So
Cowboys are definitely taking a step back this year.
Titans.
Win for the Bengals. Next two are going to be wins for the Bengals. Week 16 to 17. Browns and Broncos. Browns won a game earlier that season, so they'll lose this one. Broncos will lose because they're not going to be good. This is going to be the game the Steelers win because they're going to be scrappy at the end of it, knowing the Steelers. So, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty content with what we have right here. The Bengals' only losses being the Chiefs, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, and Steelers makes sense.
Yeah.
They're good teams.
Yeah. Which comes out to what?
They'll have a 12-5 record. Exactly. 12. Ravens have the slight edge because we have that toss-up.
We have a toss-up.
Toss-up. And now we have
the Cleveland Browns.
You're
not going to have the same season you had last year.
No.
I do still see them opening with a win, though.
Against the Cowboys? Yes. Cowboys away is...
Cowboys again. No, the run defense was not good. They didn't address it.
No.
They're not good against teams with decent O-lines.
And they're not good at away games.
Yeah, the only way they win this is Deshaun Watson comes in and throws 5 interceptions, which is possible against the Cowboys, but...
They'll talk up about Bland and Trevon Diggs and everything, being like, we have the best defense in the league.
Well, they both get burned, but imagine having both of those guys healthy this year.
They'll be picking off Deshaun Watson a lot.
But
Browns are going to lose to Jacksonville.
I would believe that.
Okay, maybe Jacksonville does have a pretty decent chance against two teams in their first 4-game stretch.
I mean, they're rough, but again, how much is it taking steps back? But they go to the Giants.
They'll beat.
The
Giants are coming to the Browns.
Probably.
Browns are going to win. I think they're going to actually win their next 2 games as well. The 4 and 5. They're going to beat the Raiders and they're going to beat the Commanders. They are going to lose against the Eagles, though. No way are they beating the Eagles.
Yeah, that one might be rough, especially it's Eagles are going to be at home. Their run defense is what they've been better at lately, and Hurts might actually it's just a tough team to play against, so I see that being a loss. And then did we have this as a win for the Browns against the Bengals?
Browns beat the Bengals this week, and they beat the Ravens the next week. So they have 2 back-to-back wins against division. But the rest of the season doesn't look pretty.
Yeah. Then they got the Chargers. And
Chargers might be able to sneak something out of this one.
Yeah, I could see this being like a...
Chargers might
get it odd, but I could see this being like a Gus Edwards has 150 yards on the ground.
Why do I see that for some reason?
I don't know why.
I can see... Why do I see this in this game?
We'll
come back to this. We'll have the Chargers win this one. I mean, Chargers will probably win random games here and there. They'll be they're competitive.
Hopefully they're well coached, and you have a good quarterback.
That's the hope. Then they have the bye. Then there's the Saints. Go marching in.
Derek Carr.
I do not trust Derek Carr.
Alvin
but
Kamara.
They do have Chris Olave. Kamara.
Michael Thomas still.
Is he any good again?
Still got. I mean, the Saints are going to be mediocre. That's what they've been. They've been trying to push for the playoffs, trying to keep the window open, they keep kicking the can down the road, but they've never been great. Yeah. I'm assuming they're probably going to be around. Just like a ballpark estimate based off how good they are. 7, 8 wins. So this could be a game they win.
This is going to be one of those games where the Browns need to win this game, but they lose it because the Saints are also in the same predicament where they need to win games to get to the playoffs. So,
Derek Carr outduels Deshaun Watson.
I mean, yeah. Steelers beat the Browns, week 12.
I could see the Broncos winning this one. I'm not as low on the Broncos as you are, obviously.
I don't know. I don't trust the Broncos.
I think the Broncos were solid at the end of the year. Sean Payton actually gets a quarterback that he kind of gets to work on himself. They brought in some rookies that I think could be solid. I think Bo Nix is better than people give him credit for, but even looking beyond Bo Nix, I think some of the guys they brought in are like sneaky good.
I don't know. They've regressed. Unless I see things otherwise, I don't trust the Broncos right now.
The Browns are coming off of a mini bye, but it is in Denver.
True.
So that makes it interesting because Denver's never a fun place to travel to when you're playing football or any sport.
I think, you know what? I'll give the Broncos that win just because they'll win one convincing game, I think, in this stretch right here. I haven't seen their schedule yet, but
I haven't either.
I believe it. Steelers beat the Browns.
Again, that's what, a 5-game slide then?
Yeah.
Go up against the Chiefs.
They're losing this one.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but no.
So
Actually,
at what point-
I have them losing every other game. So they're going to have like a 6-11 record at this point.
Do we really have them losing every other game?
I mean, just looking at it, there's no way. The only win I can see later is beating the Bengals, but we had the Bengals beating them earlier.
Did we not? Oh, no, we did have them beat we did have the Dolphins beat the Browns. I
Mm-hmm.
guess. I mean, can Deshaun even play a full season? Like, I could see it.
A 6-11 season after what happened last season? Yeah, that's definitely possible. Because they'll be scrambling for a QB.
I don't think Deshaun's going to be that guy.
No,
And I just don't have a lot of faith in the Browns.
I don't either.
I can see-
This is a season where they regress.
I could,
lot.
yeah. Well, because they've also been, alternating every other year
Yes.
with the playoffs? Because it was Baker's year, and then they had a year off with Deshaun where they were bad, and then they had a year on
with
which was last
Joe
year.
Flacco. This might be the year where they fall off again. 6-11
Middle of the
in
road.
this division. There's going to be one of those teams. As competitive as it is, this is going to be the first time in a while where a team is not over 9 wins, or 9 wins or over in this division.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow magically made their way to 9 wins, but I think, again, you're going to start seeing that defense get worse in years to come because that Deshaun contract is going to be a killer when it comes to building up that defense. So, 6 wins I think is fair for the Browns. They have a really rough end of the year. Division's tough, and like you said, I think they drop games they shouldn't drop.
Yes.
So, anyways, on to the Steelers. Finish this out.
Ooh. Okay.
Does Kirko look good week 1?
This might be the first. Well, both of them have new teams. Cousins and Wilson and Fields. New teams.
Quarterbacks, yes.
Quarterback wise, yes.
Actually,
I
both
do-
have 2 new quarterbacks.
Yeah. This one, I think Falcons have a slight edge because it's home. Other than that, I don't.
I mean, the Steelers' offense just is not.
They're going to be sloppy. Like we've established this. The Steelers are going to be sloppy for the first 10 weeks, and then at the end they're like, "Oh, we got to keep Tomlin's streak alive," and then they just pull wins out of their butts and they win stuff.
Yeah, and I think Falcons. The question mark I have is how good is Raheem Morris? Because if he's at all a competent coach, I think this is a win.
Yes.
You have a better O-line, I think probably a better running back, tight end. You have better receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense, maybe the one place you lose is edge
Yeah.
because you took Michael Penix instead of Dallas Turner. But I think they win in most situations, though. Their interior D-line's good. They're well flushed. I think the Falcons are coming in with a lot of hype. And I think
this will be their win right here.
whether it lasts, we see. But
Yes.
I think they come in with a lot of hype. And also
We'll
Steelers
see.
played horribly week 1 last year too.
Yes. Steelers, I think, are going to beat the Broncos. As crazy as that sounds, the Steelers are probably going to beat the Broncos in Mile High.
I can see that one. Again, like I mentioned, the reason for them winning before is, you have good, I think, a lot of underrated rookies. Those rookies aren't going to look great, and the Broncos started off really poorly last year, so I could see a win here. Chargers.
I don't know why, but I don't know why. I see the Chargers winning here for some random reason. I don't know what that random reason is, but they win here.
I feel like what it's going to... Because, honestly, I kind of see this shaping out a certain way, but I think first 9-10 weeks, you're going to see Russell Wilson. And if things don't go well, you switch to Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I could see things not going well in Pittsburgh. I think he performs well enough to maybe get a 1 to 2 year contract after this year.
Yeah.
And I think that's about all you expect, but I think he eventually could get benched, especially if they really need winning record. So I think, I wrote this wrong, but I think that's a loss to Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go on the road to Indianapolis.
Colts will beat them.
Really?
Yeah. But there's a reason why I have them losing to the Colts and then looking into the next 4 weeks.
So, loss to the Colts.
Loss to the Colts. They'll beat the Cowboys in a pretty convincing way.
Interesting.
They'll beat the Raiders. We had Week 7 as a toss-up between the Jets and the Steelers.
Okay. So
we haven't figured out who's going to win this one. And then
I can just leave that as a toss-up, I guess.
Okay. And then Steelers are going to beat the Giants.
Yeah.
So they'll have like a 3 or 4 win stretch right here.
Yeah, I think the only one that I'm actually considering arguing would be the Cowboys, because I think that O-line with Russell Wilson back there, I think that could be a pick fest. I think there could be a lot of sacks allowed. And I think that could go the other way too, because I think
very well. Yeah.
Dak could get sacked a lot too. But I think the Steelers defense is more... The Steelers defense is solid, but the Cowboys, if they get like 2-3 picks, I think that game's over.
Fair.
So I'm leaning towards the Cowboys there, but the rest I agree. And even going into like the Commanders, that one, because I feel like the Commanders are going to take a step forward a little bit. I think the offense is going to look somewhat good with Cliff Kingsbury there. As weird as that is to say, yeah. I think he's a much better offensive coordinator than he is a coach.
I have a proposition. We give the Steelers the win against the Jets because they try to win in weird fashion sometimes, but Steelers beat the Jets here. Cowboys beat the Steelers. And then you were talking about Cliff Kingsbury with the Commanders.
Not that he necessarily wins. I just don't think the Commanders are as bad as we are expecting them to be.
They'll give them a pretty good fight, I will say. It will be a lot closer, I believe.
Although, Commanders didn't fix their O-line, did they?
No. That's another reason. I was like, I don't think the Steelers are going to have trouble with that.
I'm going to give that one to the Steelers then.
The only threat to them is their offense.
Yeah. But you were saying give the Jets, or give the Steelers win against the Jets.
Against the Jets.
So that goes on a 4-game winning streak, and then is this a loss or no?
Oh, they'll beat the Giants.
Not Giants. I'm at Ravens.
The Ravens beat the Steelers here.
Okay.
And then the Steelers beat the Browns the next week.
Okay. So this is around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You're at 11 games. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're 6-5.
That seems pretty reasonable.
I think they would stick with Russell there then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Bengals will beat the Steelers in Week 13 because we already had that. And then Steelers beat the Browns. Already figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to the Eagles.
Yeah, I think they're not. I think the Steelers might not look.
They're
good
not
against
equipped
good
to
teams.
beat the Eagles right now.
So loss, and then we gave them a win here.
Against the Ravens.
Um,
They're not beating the Chiefs this late in the season.
on Christmas.
On Christmas, no. I'm sorry, but the Chiefs are really good at the end of the season.
And then the Bengals, which we gave
The Steelers the win.
the Steelers the win, which gives them 1, 2, 3, 4,
They have
5,
9 and
6,
8
7,
record.
8, 9. How? Wow.
It's
Look
like
at
it
that.
writes itself.
No, I mean, 9, 10 wins is about. I expect 9 to 10 wins.
Yeah.
Just because that's what I've come to expect from Mike Tomlin. How he gets there,
No idea.
no idea. Justin Fields as quarterback, maybe. Justin Fields as running back, maybe.
Yeah. But currently in the division, we have Ravens with 12.5 wins, Bengals at 12, Steelers at 9, Browns at 6.
I feel all right with that. This would be interesting because this would be one of the lesser competitive years. I mean, usually it's really close, and I expect it to probably still be close. This is based off of what we think, but also, I mean, what are the chances that the Browns lose all of those games at the midseason? I mean, they would have to have a pretty bad injury.
Which is
Or a
also
few.
very likely.
Yeah, with how last year went, but that's still.
With how bad the Browns were last year when it came to injuries, that might.
But they still managed to make it there, which is nod to Stefanski. So maybe
Nope.
they get some more wins. I expect this division to still be close. I think first place will definitely be close. I am expecting that to be between us and the Bengals, but
Steelers can sneak in if they happen to be good for some random reason, but that's very unlikely.
it's a lot of change in the NFL this year, so it's really, really no idea what's going to happen. But
Who knows?
who knows? I like this. Ravens, well, obviously I like it. Ravens 1, Bengals 2, Steelers 3, Browns 4. I think, yeah, I think.
I'm pretty solid with this one. Thank you for joining us with the AFC North predictions. This division is pretty hard to predict because literally anything can happen in this one. This is one of the tougher ones to decide. But I think we've been pretty reasonable with how things have shaped out in this division so far. I mean, all three of those teams but the Browns might actually make the playoffs this year. I can see that. We'll see. But thank you for joining us, and we will continue to do division rankings and stuff for, the next few videos. So, see you.
Bye.